I'm Jay Nehf, Thoroughbred trainer at Santa Anita Park in Southern California, with a little news on the West Coast Kentucky Derby contenders for 2018. This is McKinzie before the start of his epic battle with Bolt Doro in the San Felipe Stakes.
And they're clear of Peace, who overtakes Ayakara. McKinzie is the new leader. Castellano hooks Bolt Doro into the clear, and he's ranging forward with great purpose at the top of the stretch. And Bolt Doro moves up alongside of McKinzie, and they're racing tightly. They were brushing in upper stretch. McKinzie fights back underneath Bolt Doro. But San Felipe living up to it, filling a 16th left to go. McKinzie on the inside, and Bolt Doro in a spine-tingling spectacle at the Great Race Place. Bolt Doro, McKinzie, they hit the line.
McKinzie finished ahead in front. That's not a lot of difference between two horses. That's maybe 12 inches. However, there was a lot of bumping and interfering with each other in this race. The stewards placed McKinzie second and gave the win to Bolt Doro. I think it was a legitimate call on the part of the stewards, but I'm not going to get into that in this video. We talked a little bit about it in the video on Bolt Doro. But make no mistake about it, these horses are very closely matched. These are two of the top horses in the country. No one will dispute that. And you've got to take all this into consideration when you're considering who's going to be your top prospect for the Derby. Do we have another Affirmed in Aladar here? Maybe something even more dramatic because of the conflict between the jockeys. They are in no mood to tolerate each other's pushing and shoving. Mike Smith was quite adamant about that after the race. So let's talk a little bit about pedigree and family for McKinzie. McKinzie was sired by Street Sense, one of only two horses to have won both the Breeders' Cup Juvenile and then the Kentucky Derby. The other was Nyquist, another West Coast horse trained by Doug O'Neill. It will cost you a mere $35,000 to breed to Street Sense. You'll also notice it says $35,000 stands and nurses. That means the foal has to stand and nurse on its own before you have to pay the stud fee. So if the foal dies or has any kind of defect that would prevent that, you don't pay that $35,000 stud fee. This has a long tradition in thoroughbred breeding and is pretty standard practice. McKinzie was purchased for $170,000 as a yearling. Compare that to Bolt Doro, who was by Medaglia d'Oro, $250,000 stud fee, and Bolt Doro was purchased for $630,000. That's a big difference, but these horses are really closely matched in spite of that. Bolt Doro traces in the direct male line to Northern Dancer, but as you can see here in this pedigree, McKinzie traces directly back to Mr. Prospector. Nonetheless, both of these horses have many common ancestors, but we're just looking at the direct male line here. McKinzie and Bolt Doro have a rather special common ancestor, at least in my opinion, and Buckpasser is the horse I'm talking about. Click on Patientville, we can see that Seeking the Gold, his sire, is out of a Buckpasser mare. We can also see that Vanna Turns has Buckpasser through Wavering Monarch and his dam Uncommitted. The large heart theory says that the X chromosome, the female chromosome, carries the gene that makes up the large heart. We can trace the X chromosome from Busanda, Buckpasser's dam, to Buckpasser, to his daughter Congame, to Seeking the Gold. But from there, it stops because Seeking the Gold passed a Y, not an X chromosome. And that gene, as the theory says, is on the X chromosome. So Patientville got a Y chromosome, a male chromosome, from Seeking the Gold. However, Vanna Turns, as we said, she has Buckpasser through his daughter Uncommitted, her son Wavering Monarch, then to his daughter Vanna Turns, and she can give that X chromosome to Patientville. And on it goes to McKinzie. Having said all that, I can tell you that Bob Baffert does not believe in the large heart gene. He personally told me that in a conversation we had a few weeks ago. And he's had plenty of great horses that did not trace back to that large heart gene. So to sum this up, we've got one hot racehorse here. He's got 4 starts, 3 wins, 1 second, and that second was by disqualification. Top speed for McKinzie in the San Felipe was 40.9 miles per hour. Bolt Doro was 40.1 miles per hour. But in the maiden race that McKinzie won back in October, his top speed on the same track at Santa Anita, although it was a fast dry track, not this off track, his top speed in that race was 43.5 miles per hour. That's very fast. So he's got some great tactical capabilities here. So couple him with Bob Baffert, Hall of Fame, Triple Crown winning trainer. He's won 4 Kentucky Derbies. Add to that one of the top jockeys in the world, Mike Smith. And this is a combination that you've got to stand up and take notice of. Nonetheless, my next 2 videos will be about 2 more Baffert horses, both of which look really good for this year's Kentucky Derby. So subscribe if you haven't already, and we will get you notification when the next videos come out. Thanks for watching, and good luck at the races.